we did achieve that goal. We hit a major milestone by retaining an attorney. I'm sorry you feel betrayed. I am sorry. There are things that I can't speak about regarding that situation. But I will tell you that I deeply apologize for anyone feeling betrayed or, lied to, or I don't know what, emotion. I know there's anger.
Now with this Wade Wilson case, it's hard to top what just happened the day before, but it seems like every day we go forward, something new and something crazy comes to the light. Now all the Wade wives are very upset right now because they were lied to and scammed by one lady, and her name is Jessie. This is Marie that was on the Strange Embers podcast. She just got exposed. She's the one that's on the papers of Cease and Desist that's been going out to creators and people that are involved with the case. Her, Jessie T, I'm gonna call her Jessie Techno, and Marilyn are the ones that are in charge of the Fundly. Now everybody's saying that her voice doesn't match the way she looks. Well, let's watch this video and prove who she really is.
Welcome back to On TV News at Noon. I'm Jessie Tahanika.
Hi everyone, this is Marie. It even got to the point, honestly, where they started actually blocking our credit cards and any of our cards that were in our name so that we could no longer put money on our accounts to speak with him. I'll tell you, luckily we found a loophole around that because that's who we are and we're very inventive here.
I mean, in more than one way, but you know what I mean?
Spend more time with your friends or loved ones if they seem down. Strangers shouldn't be the people they talk to for comfort, especially ones without faces.
Now let's listen to Courtney, the ex-girlfriend of Wade Wilson, when she dated Wade for like 3 hours, right? She was in the house with Jessie talking about Wade, even mentioning his dick pics, right? But Courtney's been flip-flopped this whole time. She don't know if she's Team Wade or Team Victim. She doesn't know what she is.
On me. And hey, Jessie, if you're listening, you're gonna love this. She came to my home and did a story time on me, right? But when I was telling her about Wade, you should have seen, you see that smile that she's got on that picture? Her smile was even bigger. It was so damn big. Her smile was so big. It was like I was telling her all the best things about her boyfriend because she doesn't know. She doesn't know him in person. Hey, Jessie, I have a eggplant pic. You want it? It's two of them. Two of your boyfriend's eggplant. You want it? Text me. I'll send it to you.
I'm sorry. I just want to say this. You don't promote somebody as being single with the petition of raising money. I'm sorry. You're putting a lot of things in a lot of people's heads and you're making them the narrative completely something that it's not. So Jessie, if you're in here, this is me talking. And I'm just letting you know that what you did was very deceptive because you are leading people to believe that they can communicate with him and send him uplifting messages and all your bullshit when all in the end you're just trying to raise money for him because you can't do it by yourself. Because Courtney and this group right here have been coming on live every day for the past 2 weeks trying to raise money for your Fundly account while you've just been sitting back knowing that these calls were going to come out, knowing that they were out there looming over your head. You had every opportunity to come off the hip and say, you know what, guys, it's a lot more than I thought, that I said. I may have confused some things. I don't care how you said it or what you came out with, but the fact that you are going on these Q&As, oh, his favorite book is this, his favorite movie is this, blase, blase, blah. Oh, as far as I know, he's a single man. Come on, sister. That's bullshit, and that is deception all the way down.
Preach, Tam. Preach.
Salute to True Crime with Griselda with all the facts. There was one thing that we were wrong, and that was eyebrows. This lady is not eyebrows. She was actually supposed to sit behind the prosecutors, but that side was full because all the support for the victims. So she had to sit behind Wade Wilson. So she's seen everything that went down in that courthouse, and she provided us with some unseen footage and pictures that's never been seen before. As you can see, Kiosk Kristen's kid was there at the courthouse. There she is again. And then you also see Miss Jessie herself with her own lawyer during the sentencing. I don't know what was said to Wade right here, but his response was, Jessie never turns against me. I don't know if this person is trying to start crap between Wade and Jessie or what, but she's done well. As I asked of her, she's a human being. all of us can make a mistake. So the mistake he's talking about might be her identity getting out. I have no clue. But then he says, share this with everyone. And then he says he's already obtained legal assistance. All donations are for me alone and are being used well. And then he says, I am doing okay.
This is what we were afraid of, is that this is affecting him poorly now, because nobody's going to trust Jesse here for anything. I just told him to come here.
In conclusion, all the Wade wives are at war right now, and they're mostly mad at Jesse. They want their money back. They feel like they've been robbed. They've been misled because she told them that Wade was single and ready to mingle. But the whole time, he was fucking calling her baby, and she was trying to move closer to him. And she's actually still in charge of him, the power of attorney. And we tried to tell you people weeks ago that Marie, which is Jesse now, is the one that took Kiosk Kristen's spot, is the top G. That's the okay. Strange Embers podcast.
This is Marie.
Right.
This is Marie. Wade Wilson. Wade Stephen Wilson official.
That's but it's Wade. But it's Wade Whistle, bro. It's Wade. This is Marie's the closest thing to Wade. This is the Kiosk Kristen.
She's so close.
This is the Bonnie. She is the one. She remember that midwife thing that you were doing with Kiosk Kristen? This is the new midwife, bro. She is in charge, dog.
Yeah, I could tell. She's
making a lot of money. She's making a lot of money.
She is orchestrating it. She is getting that Wade Wilson money. I guess she's trying to get daddy some new shoes or maybe a new lawyer. It's a new lawyer, right?
A new lawyer, but I mean, they got to get a certain lawyer for, the death penalty, because that's what's going to be said tomorrow. Another thing we need to keep in mind is to look back and see all the stuff Maria's been talking about. Let's not forget, Maria's been snitching her ass off, been throwing other people on the bus, making this fake conspiracy of trying to get Wade out of prison so they can live happily ever after. But this is the thing, she never thought her name would get out there. So let's listen to Jesse talk on the Strange Embers podcast, and it's just so ridiculous knowing what we know now.
On the same relationship with him? Have they been able to be in touch with him in the same fashion?
I will tell you that I do probably speak to Wade more than other team members. And again, that's just because of the relationship we built. And being honest, it was originally Wade and I who kind of started this endeavor together and started.
It's funny. Listen to this now, right? And also keep this in perspective. Kiosk Kristen is still communicating with Jesse.
And started Team Wade. Now, understandably, as over time, as his popularity grew, so did our team, because you can't necessarily have a team with just one individual, right? So we love our team members, but I will say I probably do speak the most with him about these situations, just because we truly have built that trusting relationship that has lasted for several months now. Our team is wonderful, though. They work 24/7, and we honestly couldn't do it without them. I know I couldn't. I wouldn't be able to keep it sane.
Well, Jesse, it looks like you might not have your team fully. It looks like Wade Wilson, Team Wade, is cut right down the middle, so you're not going to have the same support. And I'm going to be surprised to see who actually stays behind you in this little run you guys are trying to do.
Be able to keep it sane, especially not having the communication with him right now. And really our main goal, again, is we're here to prove Wade's innocence, to tell his truth, truly get him a new and a fair trial, and to get him released from prison for these crimes that he did not commit, that we all fully believe in. We're not here to sexualize Wade, and we're not here because he's an attractive man. I don't think anybody will doubt that he's not. But you can see from our official social media pages that we're really focused on just telling his story and fighting for him to receive a fair trial.
Also, with you saying the way that Wade is, with wanting to protect you, even being in there, how much hatred, how much anger has been directed your way of being essentially the leader of this Save Wade?
I can't even express the amount of messages, honestly, that we receive on a daily basis, both positive and negative. There's been a lot of hatred and anger being directed not only towards Wade, but also our team, and even his supporters on a daily basis. It's been increasingly clear that public opinion is very skewed, and many are losing sight of the core issue at hand, which is ultimately the fact that Wade just deserves a fair and new trial, right? I don't think we can disagree on that. Now, again, many people believe that our support for Wade is just solely because of his appearance. And again, I can assure you that this is far from the truth. And that's why if you go to our verified social media accounts, you're not going to see these thirst traps, which, don't get me wrong, we think they're very funny and they're entertaining to watch, but you're not going to see those coming on our pages because we're here again to be focused on telling Wade's story and to get him a fair trial. Now, I'll tell you, a lot of our supporters, they've been absolutely incredible. But there's a global community of individuals who, there's a couple different things that they're focused on. One, many of them oppose the death penalty in general and don't believe in that. Two, they recognize the numerous inconsistencies in his case and the significant errors that have been made by not only his legal team, but the court proceedings as well. And then a third, they just believe that everyone, regardless of the crimes they're accused of, deserves a fair and impartial trial. I think the biggest thing that has directed a lot of hate and anger towards our way is the spreading of misinformation, speculation, defamation, harassment, and privacy invasions, which I'm sure you've seen. There's a lot that's going on social media right now about that. It's honestly reached alarming levels, and some social media platforms are even allowing it to occur on a daily basis. So I would say that that's probably causing a lot of that hatred and anger that's being directed our way, but I can't say we're allowing it to bother us.
Said also about the stuff that's out right now, so let's address this with the phone calls from prison coming out now. There are exemptions with the way that you receive these kind of things. Are you familiar with that?
I am. We've been doing a lot of research on that, trust me.
All right. So in one of the exemptions, it says, exemption number 6 is information that, if disclosed, would invade another's individual personal privacy. Would you like to, can we discuss that for a minute?
Yeah, I would love to discuss this honestly, because this is definitely something that we have been looking into. Understandably, everyone is very familiar with the phone calls that are being released. Now, FOIA does allow for these calls to be released to the public when paid for and requested. So that's not anything shocking. But I think what's more interesting is the fact that the calls that are being released have almost nothing to do with Wade's actual case and are just instead an invasion of privacy, and they're working on...
Okay, let's stop there. Maybe with Kiosk Kristen, it had nothing to do with the case, right? But with you are the power of attorney, and your whole conversation is about his living condition and the appeal process and his lawyers. So you're very contradicting what you're saying, and you sound like you're shaking in your boots. And it sounds like Kristen is definitely still talking.
And they're working on defaming his character. So I find that very interesting that we're choosing to focus on those versus one that actually might deal with specifically his case. Now, these jail calls, I want to remind people, they're recorded and are intended for law and legal purposes only in case the jail or prisons require them and need that information. But specifically with this exemption that you stated before, as you mentioned, these calls cannot be released and utilized if that information is going to invade another individual's personal privacy.
This is all baloney and cap, by the way.
Calls are doing exactly that. They are affecting the individuals who are involved. And I will tell you that we have been in communication with those individuals and how they can take action going forward, and we're helping them with that process. These creators need to remember that this is an ongoing court case, especially as we are ready here to start the appeals process, and they're ultimately interjecting in it. They're making themselves liable with their involvement. And we just wanted to send a message as a reminder that things like this will not continue to be tolerated.
I hate to tell you this, but the case is closed, Jesse. Sorry.
I tell you, we've made videos about the jail calls as well, discussing them. It doesn't make us any more in the right or wrong or whatnot, but this is something that's came to light and I didn't know about.
Yeah, we've been learning quite a bit with all the research we've been doing. And again, we want to be able to help the people too who are having their privacy invaded with these phone calls being released, because they also have lives too, right? And who they were several years ago does not necessarily mean they're the same person today. And we want to be here to help them along the way, because it is unfair that their names are being dragged through the mud.
Yep. And I'm one of the first ones to tell you, I mean, anybody that ever knows me is, if I'm in the wrong, I'll tell you I'm in the wrong. And with this coming out like that, I don't know if I'll do another jail call video. Especially not if it's just a, let's talk about our personal life or whatnot. It has nothing to do with anything. So I will say, I will go ahead and step out there and say, I apologize for what I was wrong in.
We're human. We live and we learn, right?
That's right. That's right. Well, I also, part of that I was going to say is you answer some of my questions. I mean, you're too good at this right now. I'll tell you that, because you're answering some of my questions before I get a chance to ask them. But I was going to say as far as the jail phone call is concerned, everybody that gets on one of those calls, they know they're being recorded. Mm-hmm. But the whole entire thing about the exemption is, if it's nothing to do with a legal case, the recording of that, the intent for the recording of that is to be used in law. Not for, we're just going to pay our money, get the video, get the tape or whatnot, just to have craps and giggles about it.
Yeah, and I agree. And honestly, that's what's happening right now. People are trying to utilize it to get more likes and more views on their pages. They're trying to defame not only Wade's character, but the people that he has previously associated with as well, who again have, from what we've talked about, have completely changed since that time frame, right? Humans continue to adapt and change. That's who we are. And so, I mean, I can personally say the person who I was 5 years ago is much different than the person I am today.
Right.
And honestly, it's really sad, because people have families and they're being affected that way too, and they have jobs. And
so this lady is talking about Kristen right here, the 5 years thing. She keeps bringing up the 5 years thing. She's talking about Kristen's daughter of having a job and families being affected. So you can see them, both of them are still involved with Team Wade.
And so it's not even about Wade at this point. They're affecting other individuals who have absolutely nothing to do with his court case. And it's truly putting a damper on their lives. And
Kristen was bringing him drugs, and Bonnie's part of his case.
Beautiful. It's still speaking about the phone calls, or just like you said, you get a lot of messages coming in, hate, love, whichever, comes both ways, right? Have any of them been actual threatening, people harassing you? Has there been anything that actually has you worried to be?
I'm sure that's about to change now they know who you are.
Of doing what you're doing right now.
You know, it takes a lot to worry me, I'll be honest. I think I've learned quite a lot over the years, and how to handle stress and worry. I have luckily not received direct harassment, which is wonderful. Again, I can't speak necessarily to all of our team members, because as of recently, we have had some who aren't necessarily, I would say, part of Team Wade, but are others who are helping to support us and our goals and our missions, who have been called out and have been harassed horribly due to their involvement. I'm not really afraid of the harassment, though, I'll say. I'm not, it doesn't scare me. I came into this knowing the risks that would be associated with working with Wade. And I knew that I would need to be able to accept it. And like you said, have a tough skin. And I like to think I have very tough skin here. I'm not someone who lets things get to them. And I truly can just focus on what needs to be done in order to help Wade and, again, get a new and fair trial. Now, I will tell you what does concern me is the level of harassment and hostility, not only directed towards Wade, but towards his supporters as well, too, on social media, because I do truly believe that we are all allowed to have our own opinions. And the harassment is just unnecessary, right? If you don't like what we're posting, I don't necessarily think that there's a reason why you need to comment on those posts. But again, to each their own. I'm a very protective person, though, as well, too, myself. So this is why it concerns me so much. I care more about our team members and how they're feeling necessarily than the heat that could come towards me on this. Again, the misinformation, defamation, and the invasions of privacy are reaching really troubling levels. And so many people are just latching onto this information without investigating it for themselves, and they're ignoring the real issues at hand. the focus has truly shifted from a legitimate discussion around Wade's chance at a fair trial and truly the broader debate on the death penalty to baseless personal attacks. And that goes back to the phone calls from prison being released. It is very unsettling to our team overall. It's very unsettling to me. I know it's very unsettling to Wade to hear the harassment that our team has received, as well as his supporters. But we are truly, truly dedicated on helping anybody who is being affected directly by it, and is being, like I said, having their character defamed as well too through it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Marie, sweet Marie, real name Jessie. She wanted messy chicken nuggets. Can't you guess what he wants? Yeah, your feces. Believe me, Jessie. She's not Marie. Her real name's Jessie. Courtney's so jealous now. Why the fuck is Courtney so jealous? She only dated Wade for 3 days. Think about the hepatitis and the herbs. You know that boy probably got AIDS. Joey, yeah, he done got away. Yo, thankfully, he done got saved. Purple hearts always in the chat. I made Team Wade, yeah, say their name. Team Wade is switching, cause Jessie is bitching. You know that she played the position. She was just pimping these women. And did I forget to mention, she never gave a fuck about the victim. Yeah, this bitch dumb. She just wants Wade. Shitty has come. And it makes you wonder why this bitch is named Little Plunger. German chick with the eyebrow, she's gonna go right down for the brown. Anytime that Wade gotta do that number 2, she's right around. Corn in your teeth, I can see that shit every time you smile. Baked beans before the court, they so you fart and he can smell it. Miss Jessie, Miss Marie, you living through misery. No more donations now, that shit is gon' be history. Where the fuck is your RV? Yeah, we know the real you. He ain't never loved you, he just wants to kill you. Kill you, kill you. And Courtney too, and Kristen too, and Allie too, and Alexis too, and Kelly too, the other Kelly too, ooh, and Emma too. He wants to kill y'all, he wants to beat the shit out of you and then eat your shit.